early evening, late afternoon. And we'll do a roll call attendance. So Emma Cornwell,
Here.
Emma, Kathy Murray,
Here.
and Asher Henricks. And am I pronouncing your last name Henricks? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank
Here.
you and welcome. And Counselor Jeremy Doves.
Here.
Jenna Perna Elias.
Here.
Great. All right. So first, a welcome to Asher. Thank you so much for joining the Disability Commission. We are psyched to have you here. And yes, thank you so much. And I'm not going to put you on the spot right now, but I was thinking, as people are joining, I was thinking, oh, wouldn't that be nice to have a time, maybe when it's not recorded, I don't know. But anyway, to just hear a couple minutes about each of us, because I think even those of us who have served for months or years could benefit from an exchange with each other. So just kind of something that's brewing, and we all learn from each other, and nice to get to know each other for a minute outside of these meetings. So thank you so much for serving and being here. I'm sorry Rodney's not here, and if he joins later, maybe we can do it when he comes back, but I wanted to acknowledge that Rodney has decided to step down from the commission after many, many years of service. And I'm sorry, I don't know off the top of my head how many years, but I know it's been many. Claire or Counselor Dubs or Emma, you might know how many years he's served, but we so appreciate.
Yeah, he does know, and he's prepared a little goodbye speech. So
hopefully
he'll hop on. I'm going to send him a text message and make sure he remembered.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, we will really miss Rodney. Yeah, on the commission. So we'll jump into then the approval of the minutes from May 13th. Court, thank you so much for writing those up. It was a funny, quirky, and short meeting. And so the notes reflect that, and we did what we could, and life happens and things happen, technology happens. So there were a couple of snafus, and so it's very short minutes. So if you were not here, feel free to pass. You don't have to do yay or nay. You can also just pass on voting. So if we could have anyone wants to make a motion to approve the May 13th minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Thanks. So Kathy Murray made a motion, and is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thanks, Counselor Dubs. I know there were not many of us to call on for that.
Yeah.
So Counselor Dubs seconded. So then a roll call vote. Kathy Murray?
Approve. Yes.
Counselor Dubs?
Yes.
Emma Cornwell?
I'm gonna pass because I wasn't there.
Yep. Jenna Perna Elias?
I don't know if I was there long enough, but to pass, but I'll pass. From what I read, it matches my experience.
Okay, so that's a yes, approve then, or pass?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
I don't
Okay.
know which.
Yeah, I think
pass.
either way is fine. Sydney Meininger, and welcome, Sydney. Hi.
Hi, I'm here. I'm gonna pass. I wasn't there.
Thanks. And Asher, you were not a member at that point. So I won't call on you, and I vote yes to pass the minutes. So they do pass with those of us who were in attendance. Thank you. Report from Counselor Dubs on City Council. Any updates?
Hello. Yes. So there aren't many updates at the moment, but we did pass a resolution at our last meeting. We passed a resolution in support of establishing Medicare for all in Massachusetts, which is currently a bill that's in the state legislature, which has 73 co-sponsors during the last session of the Massachusetts House and Senate, including Northampton Representative Lizzie Sabadosa, who is a lead sponsor, and Northampton State Senator Joe Comerford. So that resolution was basically just to show that the Northampton City Council is in support of that, and it passed unanimously, so everybody voted yes on that. And right now we're in budget season in on the city council, so that's really all we've been talking about in the past few meetings, and and we haven't voted yet, so I feel like it wouldn't be like appropriate for me to comment on the budget just yet because I'm still formulating my own thoughts on like how I'm going to vote for it and everything. But I will definitely update on that after the budget vote. And then that's pretty much it. And then good news that Amy Sugihara is up for reappointment. That's one of the updates I got recently. So I'm on the City Services Committee, so I always see who's being reappointed. So that'll be good. And I think that's it for my report. And then anything else that I'm doing will be anything else I'm doing on the council. Right now I think will be more relevant on our next agenda item that we have about that we're going to talk about in like a second. So yeah, that's my
Perfect.
report. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you so much for keeping us in the loop.
of course.
Yeah, it's really, yeah, it feels really connecting to have you and to hear what's kind of going on, just to get little snippets about city council stuff.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, I'm glad that we do this because I remember when Councilor Labarge was on the commission, we didn't really get updates like that. So I think it's nice. Yeah,
yeah, it's helpful. Yeah, feel a part of it all. Thank you.
definitely, of course.
Yeah, so jumping into the next agenda item, number 5, follow-up discussion on the special city services meeting, which was held on March 24th, about clearing snow after storms off of sidewalks. And there is an ordinance around that. And so Councillor Dubs gave us an update, and so I don't know if maybe a short refresher, and I'm sorry I didn't think about this
Sure.
ahead
Yeah,
of
that's fine. I can give.
to put you on the spot, but maybe just like a short synopsis. And then really this agenda item was meant to be kind of an open time to see if people had thoughts on what you brought to us and see if anything comes out of the conversation. So I'm going to pass it back to you if that's okay.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
I'll just give a quick synopsis from that March 24th meeting. That came the reason that that meeting was scheduled. It was a meeting that was not previously scheduled. We it was called a special meeting, and it was the reason we had it was because after that last snowstorm, there were just a lot of people that were speaking out about how the removal of snow and ice it was just not very efficient in Northampton. Like a lot of people were stuck in their homes for like a week, and including me and other wheelchair users in the city, and so basically, and then because of that, we me and another counselor reached out to the chief of police, John Cartledge, just to ask him about the enforcement of the snow ordinance, and we found out that nobody has been fined for removing nobody has been fined for violating the snow ordinance in the last 5 years, and so after finding out information that we decided to hold that special city services meeting because it just seemed clear that that we needed to have stronger enforcement of the snow ordinance. And so at that meeting, it was a great meeting. We had the Chief Cartledge there. We had Donna Laskelly, the director of DPW, and the mayor was there. And so it was a very productive meeting. And it was more of an informational discussion meeting. It wasn't really a meeting where we weren't making any decisions. So we just kind of were, it was more of an informative meeting, and so we got chances to ask questions and found out lots of information. For example, the DPW they have what's called a sidewalk tractor, and the city owns 2 of them, and these are machines that can plow sidewalks. But we have an issue where only one of them is fully functional right now. So we have 2, but one of them is like older and out of date, and so that's challenged. That's one of the challenges. Um, we also like learned that the police have been the way that they've been enforcing the snow ordinance is giving out they've been giving out warnings for the last 5 years. They haven't actually fined anybody, which you're supposed to technically be fined $50 if you don't or if you don't remove your snow or ice. But no, that hasn't been happening. And that was that just getting that and all of that information on record was really productive and helpful. Um, and so now we've moved this conversation on to the Ordinance Review Committee, which is the another committee that I'm on, and I'm actually the chair of. And and so this is where we're going to really get to have the opportunity to to make changes if we think that there's something that needs to be stronger in the language of the snow ordinance. This is our time to make that happen. And so I actually texted Amy yesterday because I was hoping that we could actually talk really specifically today, if possible, because tomorrow there's an ordinance review committee meeting, and we're going to be talking at that meeting about specifically about whether it might be possible to have a parking enforcement officer help to monitor the snow and the ice removal in Northampton. And so I'm just going to quickly read the part of the snow ordinance language that currently exists because it feels like it actually gets overlooked when people talk about the snow ordinance. It says that it shall be the duty of the chief of police, the director of public works, or parking enforcement officers to assess a fine to any such person in accordance with basically so so it says already in the language that a parking enforcement officer is one of the people that can enforce this ordinance, but currently our city isn't doing that. Currently the only people enforcing it are DPW and the police. So we're seeing it. We're gonna have the police there. I don't know if they'll be at the meeting tomorrow or not, but we're going to be talking to the chief of police and we're going to be talking to the city attorney Alan Seawald just to see like what like if it's even possible to have a parking enforcement officer monitoring snow and ice removal. And so what I'm hoping we can do today is have uh basically like a brief statement in support of having a parking enforcement officer do that. So even we don't know yet if it's possible, but having the disability commission saying that we would support that, I think would have a lot of impact because I can share my opinion with the ordinance review committee, but me by myself is just me talking my own opinion. So if having multiple, having a whole our commission actually making a statement that we would support a parking enforcement officer, I think would be very impactful. And also real quick, so what we would be asking is so not that we wouldn't be asking necessarily for the parking enforcement officer to find people or to even report people. What they would do is they would monitor the situation. They would go around and find out what properties aren't being uh, cleared properly, and then they would report to the police, and then the police would take care of it from there. So it would be more of like it would basically be creating a better system, a more like efficient system of making sure that these areas are being reported and that it's that the police know about it because oftentimes people aren't even reporting properties that aren't being cleared. So this will be a way that we can ensure that at least there's going to be a parking enforcement officer out there looking so that disabled people don't have to go out there and look for ourselves. I think would be a big help for the whole so many people in the city. So yeah, I'll let you take them here, Amy.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Yeah. Um, questions? Sorry, I've got some brewing. Does anyone, but I've been talking a lot. So does anyone have questions in general or specifically for Counselor Dubs, but we're just kind of ideas off the bat.
And one other thing I would just wanted to add is that this is just one element of the snow ordinance that we're looking at right now. So it's not necessarily the only thing that we're going to be talking about at future meetings. but just currently this is the one point that we're looking at the ordinance review committee, is this idea of the parking enforcement officer.
Okay, thanks. And commissioners, feel free to just jump in to the conversation.
Jeremy, did the chief of police explain why there haven't been any fine, like why they haven't enforced the policy?
The reason that he gave is because basically they hope to this is this is are his words, so whether or not we agree with it or not, yeah. But anyway, he says basically that their hope is to educate people by giving them warnings, and hope that they will shovel the property and not violate the ordinance again, basically. And that's not necessarily a bad strategy. I'm not like necessarily critiquing it, but I think that we've seen just evidence from our lived experience that it's not strong enough. Like, so, you know what I mean? So it feels like they're not going far enough. That was the reasoning that they gave. And also, Alan Seawald mentioned at the meeting, he's the city attorney, and he mentioned that sometimes finding people isn't the most efficient way. I don't necessarily know if I agreed with that, but so there it seems like there were multiple opinions on at the meeting about like how about finding people, you know what I mean? But the language of the ordinance does state that's what's supposed to happen. So that is currently the law, you know what I mean? So whether or not they have differing opinions is, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
does that help at all?
Yeah. I assume there wasn't any like follow-up discussion. Like, did they record if there are people or businesses that make like multiple offenses?
He didn't get that specific. The really basically the most specific that he got is that the properties that they gave warnings to eventually cleared their property. I personally wanted to hear more specific information, like how long did it take them to clear their property before it was actually cleared and things like that. But he didn't have that information in front of him at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of as far as we got with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah.
I would just add that my initial response is like I think I would support the idea that whatever the reasoning for not enforcing the city law has been, I think we've got a lot of evidence that that has not been effective. And so like that decision was made, but we have evidence now that that was not effective in clearing the sidewalks in a way that people can actually move around the city. And so I would definitely say that whatever, like however we got here, right, we've now discovered that this didn't work, so it's time to try something new, right? So I would very much support having a parking enforcement officer join in and help report. I would also say that I appreciate not wanting to immediately fine people. However, I would also strongly advocate for the right of people who use mobility devices to walk around the city as well, like use the city as well, in a way that is more equal to people who don't use mobility devices. So I would and my point there is that timing for me is a huge issue, right? So like, okay, they eventually, but does that mean it cleared when it melted? Like what is the time frame that we're actually talking about with the kind of lack of removal? And so I would say that the evidence of the past 5 years has been that the particular tactic we've taken has not been timely or effective. Just again, based on what I've observed, not someone who uses mobility devices currently, but I just don't, my observations have not supported that that's been effective. So that's where I would land on this particular issue.
Yeah, I think it's a little unfair to bring in like the pieces around not wanting to fine, because if I'm being honest, if that ordinance was up for discussion, yeah, I mean, fining sounds like a really tricky thing. I'd want to know more about it, but it is currently the ordinance and therefore it is the law, and like changing that is different than enforcing that. And if people want to change that, that's great. And they should like make a movement to go do that. If you're the one who has to enforce it and you really don't like it, like, sure, like maybe make changes, but it's kind of unfair to not enforce it because it is the only tool that we have right now to solve this very real problem. And it's kind of unfair for them to push it at us to be like, well, we can't enforce it because we don't like the rule. Like, we have to do something about it, and this is what we have right now. And so until there's something else, there's like another tool that we have. This is like what we have to work with. And yeah, I would agree. Anything that supports the city and actually following this ordinance, I support.
I'm curious, I had a similar thought, Emma, about what the record keeping is like. And so is this someone's first offense or is it their 10th offense for not shoveling? And, it's kind of like parking tickets. And I don't know how comparable that is, but it's another kind of ticketing system, right? Governmental ticketing system. And so, well, actually, I don't know, but I think your parking tickets go up if if it's like and maybe I am speaking beyond my knowledge, but Court, you might know, or someone who gets lots of parking tickets would know. So are they keeping track basically of, is this your first offense and whoops, here's your one warning, and then after that we're going to ticket you immediately? And then the other question Asher brought up is the timing. Like, okay, do they shovel it within 8 hours, or is it within 24 hours or 48 hours? Like, that makes a huge difference for those of us who are getting around the sidewalks on mobility devices, or I mean, honestly, people walking around on ice and snow. That is dangerous as well. So it's truly for everyone. It's harder within mobility devices, but it does affect everyone. So those are some of the questions that I would have. I had one other thing that's now escaping me. So I'll be quiet while someone else talks, and then I'll remember what else I was going to say.
In terms of your first question, I feel like that's something we could ask the chief of police, and we could see if he could look it up, and they might have that. He didn't, like when I asked about it at that meeting, he didn't have the information in front of him, but it's possible that if we ask him a follow, like ask him now, he might be able to answer that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to jump in again. Sorry. Is it the renters who are fined, or it must be the building owners who are fined, right? And so,
yes, the building owner.
And is that really a hard thing to do? I mean, the city knows who owns the buildings and has records of that and can send out bills, correct?
That actually is a good question, because that was mentioned as an issue. I don't know the answer to the question yet, but I have heard that was one of the questions that existed, that they weren't sometimes when you're out there monitoring people's properties, you won't necessarily know who owns it right away, so you don't necessarily know who to give the ticket to. I guess that is a potential issue. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's something we could figure out. They should be able to know who owns the property.
That's a pretty straightforward system to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like, I'm going to go back to cars and parking. Like, you don't put the ticket on someone's car, right? You don't put the ticket on the building, but it goes back through the system, and we have records of who owns what building where in town, and then the bill would be sent out. That seems kind of straightforward. Yeah, Kathy.
I can bring these questions up at tomorrow's meeting, so I'll see what happens. Sorry.
I watched that meeting, and now that you're talking about it, Jeremy, I realized that what the chief of police was really, I think that's who it was really talking about was, he likes to have contact with the person, right? He likes to talk to the person who's responsible. And as you just said, Amy, that I mean, I think you were going there. There's no reason for that. You don't talk to someone when you give them a parking ticket. You know, it seems like the city should just be able to, or the officers should just be able to drive around, go, oh, there's the address, and somehow get a bill sent through to the owner without any conversation. And I understand he wanted to be nice and he wanted to be friendly and he wanted to work with the people, but I think that's what's making the system inefficient, is
Mhm.
not being able to just send the bill out. Now, I will also say, as I've said before, I don't think $50 deters very many people. So I kind of think it should be higher than that, but at least if the whole system could get in place where people just get billed automatically, that would be a huge improvement.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think we get warnings with parking tickets.
Not that I'm aware of.
Or, yeah. Um, so and I mean, there could be an educational little flyer that goes in with the bill saying, here's the ordinance and this is why it's important. And so look out for, your neighbors and your fellow citizens, or if you live out of town, for the Northampton folks, like, this is why it exists. And here's your education. And whether it's the building owner or a tenant who is doing the shoveling, that's something they have to work out. And that's really not, I don't think, the business of the city to get involved in, that dynamic. Like, they have to work that out and figure out how that happens. And if there's a bill that comes to the business owner or the building owner and it really goes to the tenant, like, again, they got to figure that out. So I love the idea. And actually, Emma, I'm going to put you in the spotlight, because Emma had this idea a year or
Oh
two
yeah.
ago that, hey, why, these parking enforcement folks are going around the city. Couldn't they be the ones who are, pointing out the snow that's not getting shoveled on the sidewalks? And so here it is, Emma. Woohoo!
You're
Your
ahead of your
idea
time.
coming forward.
Yeah.
Yay. So I love that idea of the parking enforcement people not actually doing the tickets, but they're reporting it to the police. And then I would be curious to know exact next steps from that.
Yeah, I feel like there is still potential for stronger language elsewhere in the ordinance, but we haven't quite gotten there yet. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the police enforcing it, I feel like there is something we could do to make that stronger. But currently, we're just focusing on this parking enforcement idea for tomorrow. Yeah.
So Counselor Dubs, it sounds like you're putting out this idea to the commission to see how the commission feels about a letter of support
Yep. And then
for
tomorrow
this idea.
exactly, and then tomorrow I would read it to the other members of the ordinance review committee. I would read them our letter
Okay.
if we can get it done in time.
So first, if folks are
Yeah, of course, if people support it.
supportive of such a thing, and then if we could get something done, if there is support. So anyone else have pros or cons or questions or thoughts on this idea sorry, I'll be specific instead of just dropping my sentence. About parking enforcement as they're out and about on their routes, reporting any unshoveled sidewalks or icy sidewalks to the police, who can then do further enforcement of the ordinance. So any more thoughts or pros and cons, or difficulties in that system, or excitement for that idea, or anything before we see if anyone wants to make a motion for that.
The only thing I was thinking is that the bill really has to be electronic because if something's going to be mailed out, the snow's going to have melted by the time the bill gets there. So I don't know if the city has the capacity for sending something out either by text or by email.
That is a good point. Yeah.
I,
Question.
yeah, that would be a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was wondering, does the tick the violation happen? Oh gosh, now I'm trying to think through timing. I'm just wondering, does the ticket have to get there before the snow clears? Because you could notify them of the violation, right? And then like the fine would follow. Am I understanding that? Okay, okay. Just I wasn't quite sure. Yeah. So if so, then Kathy, I think that would mean that we wouldn't even have to worry about the electronic piece, right? Because you could just ticket like so what I'm thinking is I really like the parking enforcement comparison because that's that you follow the laws or you get a ticket, right? Like you follow the laws to clear your sidewalk or you get a ticket. And like I would personally, this isn't my job, I don't really know the ins and outs, right? But it seems really simple to just kind of apply that same model to other kinds of violations, right? So like you wouldn't I guess to me it just seems really straightforward, honestly, in a way where you can just say you're responsible for clearing your sidewalks. If you don't do it, you get fined. Just like if you park your car where you're not supposed to, you get fined, right? Like that's a one-to-one and we all understand that relationship. So I think that like that's honestly kind of great because then we don't even have to be like electronic or what's the logistics. It's just like parking system, sidewalk system. So I guess that's my 2 cents. I might be oversimplifying.
Well, I wonder what you were saying, Asher, made me think, I wonder if the parking enforcement folks could take a picture, kind of like people delivering packages to your front door and they take a picture, right? Like take a picture and then look, we're trying to solve it all for them, but they could email or text it to the police department. Here's the address, here's the evidence, right? Because parking, like there is your car without the meter, the meter is expired, like, and you come back to your car and you see it and there you have a ticket on your car, for example. So you're seeing the evidence as well, right? So if someone lives out of town and they're just getting this random ticket, they're like, how do I know there was snow on my sidewalk? Or I could, see that. So some kind of evidence might be nice to capture. Just a thought to take back, Councillor Dubs, to
Yeah, thank you for all
the
of these
nitty
thoughts.
gritty working of it.
This is all really good stuff.
But then it wouldn't have to be an immediate electronic ticket, I think, Kathy, right? Like it could just be, here's your evidence, here's your ticket, and however it goes out. Court, is your hand halfway
Yeah,
up?
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was
No,
going to
no,
say
no.
that the parking enforcement officers now carry around those little units that they take pictures of the cars and the license plate. So they actually have
Oh, wow.
they probably could use that to also take a picture of the unshoveled sidewalk. I mean, I don't know what the limitations are on those, but it's something to think about. And then they would have the evidence on, It seems like you'd probably have to provide some kind of evidence with the ticket,
We've
So,
solved it. I feel like
yeah.
our
Yeah,
work
I
is.
think we did.
That's great. Thank you, Kathy, for spurring on that conversation. Any other thoughts? Anyone care to make a motion or in support of the Disability Commission writing a letter for Councillor Dubs to bring to the Ordinance Review Committee tomorrow about the idea of parking enforcement officers gathering evidence and reporting to police any unshoveled or icy sidewalks?
I'll make that motion.
Right, thanks, Councillor Dubs made the motion.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Jenna. Sorry, my cat was going crazy. I couldn't tell where the voice was coming from. All right, so we'll do a roll call vote. Emma Cornwell,
Yes.
Kathy Murray,
Yes.
Sydney Meininger,
Yes.
Jenna Perna Elias,
Yes.
Counselor Debs,
Yes.
Asher Henricks,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. Right, so that passes unanimously. So are there any folks available interested in writing, and I would say a short letter in support of this in the next 20 hours?
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yeah, our meeting is at 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh,
So
okay.
a little
Oh,
more than 24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm thinking just like a short statement, you know, like a
Yeah.
brief 2 or 3 sentences, something like that.
Okay. I would be happy to be involved in that if anyone else wants to join in the effort. Raise your hand, or if not, I will.
Yeah.
I
If it's
could
short,
join
I
that.
can.
I'll
Yeah.
go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Asher and Counselor Dubs, did you also say?
But
Or-
I could just be like the person that reads it and says that like that I like it.
Great.
You know, like
Okay.
I feel like the more people working on it is the best because you know, the more the merrier. You know, so it's not just like, you know, a small, you know, just one person. Yeah,
Great.
you know what I mean.
Yes. Okay. So I'll reach out to you too. Is that yes? Okay.
Sounds
And
great.
then we can, all right. Sorry. Great. Okay. So next agenda item, number 6. Oh, and I am so sorry. I made a mistake. I realized in the middle of this, I forgot to do public comment. I'm so sorry, Ben. Do you have any public comment? Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump over that. All right, so number 6, any future concerns or issues for the Disability Commission to take up during the next fiscal year? So Emma and I were just wanting to put this out there. Anything on folks' radar that could be something for the Disability Commission to consider, look into, discuss, and this might be something that you have an idea now, but it also might be something where you send an email during the month to say, hey, can this be on the next agenda item? Or, you know, this is something I'd like for us to consider in the next year, or, you know, it doesn't have to be right in this moment if you don't have something, the window does not close. But just to put it out there, you know, we're headed into July, starts the next fiscal year. We did some great work with the Complete Street Ordinance this past year. And hopefully the shoveling, snow clearing ordinance will kind of get attended to. It sounds like it's in great hands, and so that's coming up. But if there are other things that are brewing in your lives or friends or families' lives that you would like the Disability Commission to consider, this is one chance to put it out there.
Amy, excuse me for 1 minute. I did just hear from Rodney and he said he's going to hop right on.
Yay, fantastic. Jenna,
I
go
have
ahead.
something, but I know that it affects more than just Northampton. So it might be really complicated and not something we can really do anything about. But I do know that for folks who use I should have looked up the terminology, but like the PVTA like door-to-door service, not like the bus where you go to a bus stop, really struggle with that service in terms of timing. It is really inconsistent. They have a very large window like before and after your time that they can pick you up in, and often miss even outside of that large window.
Actually just learned of this recently as well. That's it sounds incredibly challenging. Yep. So that is under the Pioneer Valley Transportation Authority.
Ben just chatted the name of the service, I think, on there too. I
Ah.
don't know if you saw that, Amy, or not.
I didn't.
Paratransit, yeah.
Oh, the paratransit. Okay.
Mhm,
Thank you.
mhm.
That's great. Thank you, Jenna. And thanks, Ben, for that. Other challenges, ideas, concerns?
Go for it, Sid. I think that Amy's just writing.
Repainting, they need to repaint the sidewalks that have faded.
Can you tell me more, Sydney?
There's sidewalks in Northampton in multiple areas where the white is faded and you can't really tell it's a crosswalk anymore. I think that's more of a city thing, but I don't know if that can be addressed.
Yep. Repaint the crosswalk. Downtown areas, or have you noticed kind of just
I think
random?
it's mainly downtown.
Okay.
I don't know if they're just not gonna repaint them until they redo downtown, but they really should redo them, like paint them before they redo downtown.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Any other ideas for right now?
It's not really new, but I think it's always worth revisiting the ADA transition plan and like the 11, I think it's 11 things on there. And just sort of like maybe reevaluate, like some of them have sort of we've like started to delve into, but maybe just some follow-up on what has or hasn't happened.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you.
I think that's I just wanted to add that I think that's a great idea. Because anything that we come up with that we think should be worked on, like next on the ADA transition plan, we can make recommendations to the city council, and I think that would be really useful. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great to look at the transition plan together as a commission and see. Yeah, to pull up the details. Thank you, Emma. Hi, Rodney. Anything else before we on? All right, so again, this is just a beginning, and thank you for those ideas. If other things come up, please feel free to email or to bring it up at the next or in any other commission meeting. Hi, Rodney, it's so good to see you. We're going to pause in the order of the agenda so we can say hi to Rodney and thank him for his service and maybe hear what he's going to share with us, as Claire alluded to. Rodney, we heard that you're stopping your service with the Disability Commission. And we thank you so much for your years of service on the commission. We really appreciate all that you have contributed, and we're really going to miss you. I was sad to learn that you're not going to be a part of the commission anymore. And I understand life, at different times calls for different things, but we will miss you.
Are the captions on? I can't. I'm wondering if he's having trouble seeing captions.
Last time it was tricky. Rodney, can you see the captions? Claire, do you have a way of communicating?
Yeah, I can text him.
Yeah, it
Do
does
other
say,
people see them? Because I don't see them either.
I think you have to turn them on your computer, right?
Right,
Yeah.
but I can't even find, usually I'll text him and see.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, huh.
How-
Yeah,
How
the
do you find
interface
them?
has changed, hasn't it? Where?
I can't find where it is to turn them on anymore. He says, I'm here,
really?
but there is no link for closed captions.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Gosh, oh shoot. Huh.
Yeah, it
I'll
used
tell
to
him,
be right at the
I'll tell him
bottom.
we're working on it.
Yeah. Let me see. Fair. It's funny, I have set up manual captioner, host caption control settings. It says
It's
always
almost
show
like that AI
captions.
companion has replaced where captions used to be.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad. Let's see, enable restore defaults. Oh. That's strange. Caption display. Search of stripes are detected. No. God, it just says always. This automatically shows and starts captions when you join a meeting. Huh. Oh.
Yeah, it
Right
used to
down.
be right there.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, right on the bottom. Right. Gosh. Yeah, see, I have it on mine and it says captions. And let me see.
Where
Captions.
does it say captions on yours?
It's right after meeting info and more. It's on the bottom down there where the recording stuff is and the AI companion. But
Yeah, I don't think we even see that meeting info. Oh, wait a minute.
No.
yeah,
Meeting info. It's under
yeah,
more.
yeah, you may not. It may just be
More.
post stuff. But
That's horrible.
you
Claire, given this
yeah, shoot.
very bad technology
Yeah, I know.
support, would you be willing to text
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. I
summary
can
of what we're
also,
saying to Rodney?
yeah, I can do that. I can also see, let me, Rodney, can you speech read me through the picture?
Okay, if something to say now, can I?
Oh, now I see the host has disabled captions up on the top of my computer.
Okay, let me see. All right.
Court's
Let's
playing around with it.
Yeah, sorry, I was playing around with it. See if it
Okay, can I have
allow
so
closed
sorry,
captions from the
no
meeting.
closed captions?
Right. Rodney, I'm going to send you a text message.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Recommend meeting. Because there are no closed captions.
Right. He's saying this video has no
Sitting
good
with
captions.
no link to bottom.
Right.
Yeah.
Rodney, look at your phone. I think he said I'm going to be. I don't know what he's doing. I texted him and told him that I'll text him what's being said, and he hasn't
Okay.
responded yet.
Okay, so he might not be looking at his phone. Can you hold up your phone again,
Yeah.
Claire?
Rodney, look at your phone. Yeah, he's saying, please turn on the closed captions.
Can you
Alright.
text him that we can't?
Yeah, I did tell him that we're working on, that you're working on it.
Yeah,
I don't think they're coming, unfortunately, but unless
I'm gonna have
Court
to
has
do-
a miracle there.
Yeah, I know, God. I wish I did. I don't know what. Let's see. We'll type, assign someone to type. No, that's manual. Close, allow
think
closed
it's-
captions for the meeting. When this setting is disabled, nobody can use closed captions.
Yeah, he's just not
So,
looking at his phone.
nah.
It's
So
not
do folks see the closed caption button at the bottom now on their screen at all, or no? No.
Not at all, no.
God, that is just bizarre. It's just gone. Yeah, I mean, it's just always, it's turned on. So I don't know. Oh. Okay. Oh, Ben's gonna leave and come back and see. Okay, let's see. Here's that one.
Okay, Rodney's typing to me now, I can tell.
Oh, good, okay.
Let's see what he's gonna say.
Okay.
Maybe he can share what he wants to
Right,
say.
I'll suggest that to him that, yeah.
Cool. Full transcript, set up, post version control, allow closed captions when sensitive. Closed captions, still no caption button. Gosh. Let me see if I can find it in the Zoom thing.
Yeah, those three little swiggly dots are going like he's typing, but I just texted him and asked him if he wanted to share his comments. Oh, that's an interesting idea too. Kathy just shared something in the chat for Rodney that people could share in the chat.
Go to Zoom software, just spinning up on and in line.
Yeah, I don't know. He's obviously typing, but nothing's coming through yet.
Just during the meeting, look for a button labeled live transcript or show captions in the meeting toolbar. You may need to click on the ellipses to see it.
Okay, what did he say? He said, I'll write a letter to the mayor with a goodbye message so that it can be read in next month's meeting. Yes, there is something very wrong with this Zoom, which no longer has a link for closed captionings. My deep apologies.
Oh,
Do you want me to respond in any way to him or?
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. Do you
Oh.
mind texting him, Claire? And sorry, I'm going to get some background noise here. And let him know how appreciative we are of his service on the commission. And we deeply thank him for being a part of the commission for so many years, and that we're really going to miss him.
Okay.
And if you could also apologize that closed captioning is not available. I'm so sorry that it's not. We don't know why, and we will do some sleuthing with Zoom, figure out how to get closed captioning back. But I'm really sorry that he can't participate, that he had trouble last month and that he wasn't able to participate,
Yep.
not able to.
So
participate.
I said the committee wants you to know how appreciative you are for all your years of service on the commission and that everyone will miss you, and apologies from all about the captions. And then he responded and said, yes, I should have sent Claire my goodbye message beforehand, but unfortunately I fell asleep as I just came home from a doctor's appointment. So, and
Understood.
he's typing again, so we'll see what he says.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we look forward to hearing his letter.
Okay, I'll let him know that.
Yeah.
I was thinking that this could also be something that this is like an accessibility issue that we should look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's affecting our meeting, it's affecting all the other Zoom meetings in the city also. So
Yep. Yep. I don't know why last month I just thought it was kind of a quirk, an anomaly, like that he couldn't get the closed captioning, but it's my fault I didn't go down and actually explore the buttons on the bottom to find the closed captioning button.
Yeah, it looks like it's all different.
It's just not, it's not there. So that's
Rodney responded and said, thank you. And here are a few words. Due to my efforts, I am happy about my new pedestrian lights at King Street and Trumbull Road. So much better, and everyone is happy.
yay.
And
That's
he's
great.
continuing to type.
Good. Good.
Ben suggested disabling the AI companion, and he said that could be a possibility.
Yep, and Court just did that.
Yeah. Just trying to see. And let me, okay. Host is disabled captions. Let me turn it back on. And captions. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's doing anything. You guys aren't getting any captions at all
No.
either. Yeah,
Not at all.
I don't think that.
And there
yeah.
must be a way to do it, but we're
There,
gonna have-
yeah, something weird
Yeah,
is
Jenna?
going.
I'm wondering if the AI is how you do it now. Like if there's some setting within the AI companion that
Yeah.
does the closed captioning. And that's why we
Oh.
can't find it elsewhere.
I opened the AI and I did a search for closed captioning and there was nothing there, so it's going to take a little more.
Right.
Search.
Yeah,
It didn't just jump right out.
yeah.
But I bet you're right that it's something in there. All right.
Okay, you want me to read his next message?
Yeah.
And my regrets, the sidewalk problems are so difficult because it's the same old story about shoveling them, or the police will knock on the disabled and elderly residents. I don't know what he means about that. Yeah.
Knock on their doors, maybe.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did tell me earlier when I saw him at an appointment that he felt like the sidewalks was just an ongoing issue that's been going on forever, since he's been on the committee.
It is. Bit by bit, trying to move the needle forward a little bit. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Claire, for texting with him and making the communication possible without the closed captioning today.
It looks like he may be typing one more message, but then I'll tell him, are you going to close the meeting? So,
No, we have more to cover.
oh, okay. Do you want to go on and then I'll just, at the end of the meeting, take all his comments and read them to you? It's up to you, because he seems like he's going on and on here.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, because we'd love to hear from him, and we do have a few more things. So thank you. Okay, so number 7 is nominations of chair and vice chair for the commission for the next fiscal year. I was going to pull up. Sorry, I can't do it visually because I'm on my ancient computer, but I can just read very quickly. The ADA coordinator, Keith Benoit, started a document. For us, it's just in draft form, but kind of norms for the commission, and it includes chair and vice chair duties, responsibilities. So the chair shall preside at meetings, consult with the ADA coordinator, or sorry, this is outdated now, Court Klein, to create an agenda, call any special meetings, represent the Disability Commission in any pertinent matters outside of meetings, have the power to appoint board members to special committees, and the vice chair shall carry out the functions of the chair in the chair's absence. So, I need to find you all now. There we go, video. So basically, chair running the meetings. There's a lot of emailing that happens in between meetings with various entities, depending on the projects that are getting worked on. So sometimes coordinating meetings outside of this, or just communicating with various folks, sometimes writing letters, things like that. And then facilitating the meetings, and vice chair. And Emma and I have, and I think Councillor Dubs and Emma did before this, worked closely together. So Emma and I both attend the agenda planning meetings with court monthly, and work closely together as we meet with people outside of the commission, like meeting with head of DPW, talking about sidewalks, meeting with mayor sometimes, things like that. So just so you know what you would be getting involved with if you put your name in the hat. So this is a time to call for nominations for chair and vice chair, and then we will vote in July. So next month. So anyone want to put a name out of someone else or their own name out to be chair for the next year, or vice chair? Don't everyone jump at once.
I'm wanting to nominate you, Amy. Oh, sorry.
That's what I was gonna do.
I would be happy to serve another year, but I would also be happy if someone else wants to have a go at it, to make room for that person to do it. So don't be bashful. And Emma, would you like to continue as vice chair? That would be fantastic.
I would be so honored, but I'm also would equally be so excited if somebody else was interested. I don't feel like it has to be me.
I was going to nominate Emma for vice president, so just saying. I do nominate Emma.
Yes, great. Sorry, my question was not clear. It was a nomination as well. Anyone else? And Kathy, man, Kathy just ducked out of this, huh? We'll get her next year. All right, so right now, there's one nomination for chair and one nomination for vice chair. if anyone thinks about it and thinks, oh, I would like to do that, or I would like to nominate someone else, please email court in the next 3.5 weeks before the next meeting. And then we will have all those nominations put forward to be voted on at our July meeting. All right, thank you all. Sorry, that is a little awkward. All right, before the other business not anticipated, we do have one more agenda item, which is an update on the Disability Pride Month and the mini film festival. Jenna saved us all by making the flyer beautiful from my plain text, and so she beautified it, and she did it like super quickly. It was amazing to watch in action. Jenna, are you able to let Jenna screen share? Oh, and Jenna, there was one tiny change today, but it just on a time, the Amherst Commission wanted to shorten their time. I'll send you the final one. It just happened recently, but yeah.
I might not have.
Basically, this is
final.
the final version of the flyer that we can now start printing and hanging and sending electronically.
Can everyone see it?
Is there a way to make it bigger? Oh yeah, down at the
Well,
bottom.
I don't know if we can see all of it at once, but I can scroll. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Also, for the record, this was like maybe 10% me. Amy made a lovely flyer.
I will take all the blame and you can take all the credit. So Patrice is the movie being shown, or sorry, do you want to talk through it, Jenna? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, feel free.
Patrice is the movie being shown in East Hampton at the Marigold Theater on July 5th at 2 p.m. So the East Hampton Commission on Disability. The trailer looks amazing, so I hope everyone can join and bring friends and family. I know it's a holiday weekend, so hopefully it'll be a big festive event. I'm really excited to see that one. And The Ride Ahead, July 16th in Amherst at the Banks Community Center, which is kind of right downtown, 5 p.m. This one's getting a lot of traction, or maybe it's just popping up on my Facebook feed. Anyway, and Counselor Dubs was raving about it. So again, super excited to see that one. And then of course, Tallywhacker, starring our very own Jeremy Dubs on July 29th at 3:30 at the Northampton Senior Center. So that we're gonna have to figure out how we can I don't know, bring in popcorn or something to have it be festive. So we'll talk about that probably at our next month meeting. So those are the 3 films, and so hope everyone can join those. And then can you scroll down to the accessibility? So Rodney, there will be closed captioning at the movies. So really hope you can be at these, Rodney. There will be an ASL interpreter, audio descriptions. They're all wheelchair accessible, and mask if you're able to. And so any other access requests or questions will be directed to the email that's ADA coordinator that Keith Benoit gets and can share with court or us to field any questions that come in. So the question is, if anyone has ideas of well, two things, how many flyers we should start with to ask court and the planning department to print. And I was thinking maybe we start with like 30, and then people can stop by and collect them and hang them around town. So if anyone on the commission is able to hang flyers, then that will be huge. We want to get the word out as much as possible. And East Hampton and Amherst are also hanging flyers, but you know, if you're in other towns, feel free to hang them. Like if you're in East Hampton, it's okay to hang a flyer. Like it doesn't have to be only in our boundaries. And same goes for them. And then does anyone have ideas of who to send the flyer to? To make sure that other commissions outside of these three know about it, or other organizations. Court has already passed it on to the mayor's office, and so they're including it in their newsletter, and it's gone on various feeds.
Mhm.
Or you can,
Yeah, they're going to go on the digital signs downtown to the ones that those SUPA signs they're called. So, and the other thing we could do if you want to try to get it out to the press is I'm sure the mayor would share their press list. We could email the flyer to all the paper and the if you guys are trying to get the local news stations and stuff to try to cover it, you'd certainly do that. We'll send
is it
one
all
to
right, everyone,
Forbes.
if I stop sharing the screen so we can have more of a
Sure.
discussion
Yeah.
first?
Thank you, Jenna, so much for that support. Oh, I was I was flailing. So thank you. Yeah, what do folks think about local news, or to do a press release, or
I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
cool. And any oh, go ahead, Emma.
I was just gonna add, if there's a way to get invite the Holyoke Commission, Disability Commission. I feel like we had a lot of folks in the past come from there.
Yeah,
To
I know the chair of the Holyoke Commission, and her name's Lynn Horan, and she's really great. I think she would definitely be interested in going.
Yep. Yes, I will be sure to email her specifically the flyer and ask her to share it around Holyoke and her commission. That's great.
Amy, am I allowed to make a suggestion?
Go for it. Thank you.
What about the disability services offices at like UMass and Holyoke Community College? And I don't know, Springfield College maybe, but the local colleges.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Great. Other places. I'm going to share it with someone that I've been working with in another capacity who lives at the Salvo House. And I know there are several folks living there with disabilities, and they're right next door. So I think they'd be really interested in and certainly our film, and maybe the others as well.
I know we said Forbes, but maybe we could hit all of the local libraries.
For hanging flyers or emailing or both, what do you think?
My instinct is both, but I don't know.
Yeah. Can't hurt, right? Yeah, go ahead, Sydney.
Okay,
Thanks.
I have one. I don't know if this is gonna work. I know ServiceNet has multiple buildings. I'm wondering if we can hang any in ServiceNet or
Yeah.
send it like in ServiceNet somehow, because I know they have a newsletter that goes out once a month.
That's fantastic. Thank you. Which made me just think of Northampton Neighbors. They have a big email list. Get the word out. Yeah, Sydney.
I have another one. I don't know if it would even make sense. There's the Northampton YMCA. I know they're a big draw to the town.
Yep, I love it. Thank you. Awesome. All right, if you think of other ideas, please send me an email, Emma an email, or Court an email. Any of us can field that. Great. Okay, we'll work on sending this out electronically to these folks. And again, if any of you are able to hang flyers or have a friend or family who are willing to hang flyers, then send them into the planning department, right, Court? And Court will have a pile of flyers that we can pick up. And thank you, Court, for already hanging some around City Hall.
Sure.
It's already
Yeah.
started.
Already started.
Word
Hey, are
is
you
getting out? Yeah.
Are you folks, is the mayor gonna do a proclamation for Disability Pride Month this year? Do you want me to check with her about that, or do you wanna, okay,
We've done that in the past. Totally forgot.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Would you be willing to do that?
Sure, yeah, I can
Thank
check with her.
you. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
cool.
Thanks for thinking of that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because they may want to do the press release through the mayor's office anyway, as part of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, but
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah,
Sure. Absolutely.
okay. Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Court. Great. All right. And then I will email everyone the flyer so that all commissioners will have a copy of the flyer. And so then if you can send it out to any of your contacts, friends, families, any folks like that, if someone gets it twice, that is quite all right. So this is like big group effort getting the word out. So thank you for anything you can do to facilitate the PR. Thank you. All right, awesome. Other business not anticipated. We have one thing. Court, are you able to share screen? Do you have that? Or Court got an email about a statewide event on, I think, June 23rd. And it came in too late to put on the agenda. So just want to make sure everyone knows about it. And again, that can also be emailed out to people after the meeting. Yeah, Counselor Debs.
I was curious about our ADA coordinator. It's still Keith Benoit, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if it'd be possible to like request an update from him, because I feel like while it's great having Court here to facilitate the meetings, it might be nice to hear from the ADA coordinator at some point, just to hear like what he's up to in the city and stuff. And then I had one other thought, which is like similar to that, which is a while back, as you may remember, we voted to put money towards automatic buttons on at City Hall, and I was wondering like where that's going, or like if we could have an update on that, on like if we spent that money already, because
Yeah, actually, yeah.
oh, you know the answer. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Keith should do. He should definitely come and give you folks an update on that. But yeah, no, it's in the works actually too, and hopefully it would be completed before the beginning of this new fiscal year, I think. I mean, I think it's going to happen in the next few weeks, basically.
cool. Okay,
We
cool.
have to spend all the money out. But yeah, I'll ask Keith to come and give you guys an update on that stuff. And there's some of the money from the next community development block grant is going to go towards creating a program to provide accessibility to some of the downtown businesses that are not currently accessible. So
Oh wow, that's
there's going to be a
cool.
program. Yeah. So, but he can give you an update on all that stuff. But yeah, we should ask him to come to the next meeting. So.
Thank you, Court.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, thanks for that idea, Councillor Dubs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is the event that is happening Monday, June 23rd, 12:30 to 2 p.m. and it's both in person and on Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So don't have to travel to the State House to participate.
And there's a QR code to register down there too, if you want.
Networking, resource sharing event with employed youth and young adults with disabilities, personal care assistants, job coaches, and inclusive workplaces. So we'll forward this to you as well. Maybe I'll forward it, try and do one email with this and the film festival flyer to everybody. So folks have it on hand if you would like to join in on this. Thank you, Court, for sharing your screen for that. Any other business not anticipated? All right, a motion to adjourn?
Amy, I have one more comment from Rodney.
Yes. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Claire.
This is his final message. And I wish we still had live meetings like we used to have before COVID-19 at the City Hall and the Senior Citizen House instead of Zoom, which needs to be fixed for easy access to closed captioning. I thank Claire for her excellent interpreter, and I wish all of you, the members, your best as you continue this important disability work on the committee. Good luck. Best wishes, Rod.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Great. Perfect way to end the meeting. Motion to adjourn?
Did you make the motion, or are you asking something?
Oh, sorry. I'm asking, is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure, I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Okay, Councillor Dubs. Is there a second?
Nobody wants to go.
Asher seconds the motion to adjourn, and we are done. Thank you so much for your attendance and have a wonderful evening.
Thanks, everybody.